Have you ever noticed how your best, most brilliant business ideas come when you're fully relaxed? Maybe you are on the beach, relaxing with your friends, or you've just had a great meditation, or you waking up first thing in the morning after a really, really good night's sleep. There's a reason for that. Today, we are going to dive into something that most business coaches don't really talk about. And this is how to access your inner guidance system to make powerful and aligned decisions for your business. Listen, as mental health professionals, we are trained to analyze. We think all the time and we think critically. And we're taught to kind of weigh evidence to make decisions and to really be a bit logical at times in assessing problems and situations. Great skill to have. But what I've learned in my 20 years, 20 plus years in this field is that the most successful businesses don't just rely on spreadsheets and strategy. That was a tongue twister. They don't rely on spreadsheets and strategy. They've mastered something else, the art of tuning in to inner wisdom. So think about it. How many times have you rushed into a business decision because everybody else was doing it? And it just kind of felt like, all right, I don't want to miss out, a little bit of FOMO. Or maybe you had a gut feeling about a partnership, a program, a coach, a person, a therapist you were going to hire, or a consultant you were going to work with. You had a gut feeling, you ignored it, and things didn't go so well. Or maybe you felt disconnected from your initial vision, the thing that you came here to do because you thought you just weren't doing it right, right? You weren't doing it right. The truth is that building a successful business is not about following a blueprint. It really is about creating a business that's in harmony with your soul, your spirit, what's right for you. This requires something deeper than strategic planning. It requires creating a sacred space for the kinds of grounding practices that will clear your mind, or allowing yourself space to gain some spiritual perspective and confirmation on the things that you're doing to expand your vision for your business. And really learning how to take quiet moments to hear your inner guidance, not the noise of the world around you, not the voice of all the gurus, including mine, not the perspectives of all your colleagues that are killing it, but to listen to your own inner wisdom. Because when you make decisions from that aligned space, something magical starts to happen. Your choices become a bit more clearer, your actions are much, much more powerful and aligned. And the truth is, your impact kind of hits different, right? Not only for the way you feel about being in your business, but the way others experience the work that you're doing in your business. So, I want to start by sharing some specific practices for different challenges that you might face in your everyday business experience. Because the truth is, the journey of entrepreneurship can be challenging. And so, I want to give you some tools that you can use to start integrating some of this, inner guidance and wisdom into your process. So let's say your mind is just racing. You have too many ideas, too many ideas. And if you've ever been on a get acquainted call with me, I like to talk about the parking lot, right? Having a place to put all of those ideas so that they're ready when you're ready to drive them home. But if your mind is racing with way too many ideas, of course, you can use that strategic approach of putting them on a parking lot and having a place to write them down. But you can also try that 5-5-5 breath. Inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5. Breathing has a way of grounding your mind, your body, your heart. It's like a signal to the whole system. All right, y'all, we're about to calm it down. So use breath. And I know you know these things, But knowing and doing are two different things. So the next time your mind is racing with too many ideas, I want you to really practice breathing. And then you also can do some of those grounding techniques. There's one, and I know you're familiar with this, but I'm reminding you because there's a difference between being familiar and being experienced in using a thing, right? So go through and name 5 things that you can see with your eyes, 4 things that you feel with your sense of touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste, and that sensory 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown will ground your body right here in the present moment. You also have the option of taking a walk, and not just a walk where you're on a treadmill listening to something in your headphones, but maybe a mindful walk outside if the weather permits. Listening to what you hear around you, taking in the sky, the trees, and just letting your nervous system reset and calm. It's a wonderful way to handle having way too many ideas. And before you have to make big decisions or have hard conversations, because this is another thing that we often have to do, again, we're going to talk about breathing. One hand on your heart, another on your core, your belly. 3 really deep cleansing breaths before you go make any big decisions or hard conversations. Just breathe calmly into the body. You can also go right like a stream of consciousness, like just write whatever comes to mind. Get it out, get it out, get it out. So that if you are having to have a hard conversation, maybe you can flush through whatever you're feeling and thinking before you go interact with another human being and bring all of that bundle of energy to them. Flush it out fully. Right? Another thing when you're making big decisions is to get into that future self meditation. Just imagine yourself 6 months into the future after making this choice. What are you hoping things are going to be like? What are you thinking life will be like? That's a great way when you're kind of faced with big decisions and hard conversations. Now, what about when things don't go the way you planned? Because we all know in business, that is a part of the process, right? So when disappointments and setbacks come, here's what I want you to do. Practice that empty bowl meditation. Just put all your disappointment into a bowl and just watch it begin to transform. Let it just shift itself into something differently in your mind's eye. Use movement. Dance, stretch, shake it out. You can do some other things with your body. Do things with your body that help you to kind of process and flush through all of what you're feeling, because sometimes just sitting and thinking can create stagnation, but the body is a tool you can use to really set yourself free. Let go of disappointment and setback. Dance it out. And you can even write a letter to your disappointment. That might sound odd, but an actual letter written to your disappointment. You don't have to send it, there's nowhere to send it, but just write down kind of what you're learning from this disappointment, why you think you got here, um, that you're angry with it, expressing whatever feelings you have, embarrassment, shame, whatever the disappointment is bringing up, write it all down. And then take that letter and shred it up and throw it away and be done with that situation. Now, the last scenario I want to give you, and this is an important one because it happens so much for us, is overwhelm. When you are feeling overwhelmed, I first want to redefine overwhelm as us being right at the edge of our capabilities, edge of capacity. And that's not a bad thing, right? It just means that we've got to stretch a little bit and grow a little bit to accommodate this next level that we're heading into. And so, one thing you can do to help with overwhelm is the brain dump. A 5-minute brain dump where you just write everything down. Don't organize it, don't prioritize it, don't start taking action on anything. Just flush it all out right there on the paper or on the Google Doc or wherever you use to dump your ideas and your thoughts, right? The other thing I noticed that can be useful when you have competing priorities and it feels overwhelming is to create a container. right? I learned that from my EMDR training. A container where you can visualize putting all of your concerns in a container until you're ready to address them. So if you have one thing that you need to focus on today, but there's 8 things that are on your mind, take those 8 things and visually put them in a safe place where you know you can come back to them and address them fully later, right? Another thing to do when the overwhelm hits is a body scan. Just start intentionally releasing the tension from your body, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, giving your body a chance to just let go, right? So these are things that you can do when those difficult moments hit. But I want to talk about kind of how we start integrating some things together so that you can make powerful and aligned decisions for your business, right? One thing that I love is having some sort of sacred space for yourself. Before you make any major business decision, you need to practice some of these grounding and centering techniques that I just shared with you about kind of getting your energy into the right place, right? Have a specific place that you go to. If it's your desk, if it's in your room, if it's where, in your office, wherever there's plants, wherever it is that lets you feel the most at peace and calm, create a dynamic of being there. For me, I love plants. There are plants all around my office. Maybe I'll try to splice in a picture of some of my plants so you all can see just how much. I probably have like 40 house plants all throughout my house. There's a few in the screen here. But I have plants. I love incense. I love candles. I love sunlight, soft light. These are the things that help me to kind of calm and center myself. What works for you? And if you don't know, start experimenting, exploring, and finding out what will help you to create a sacred space so that you can always kind of have a grounding spot to go to before making major business decisions. Another practice for integrating this so you can have aligned decisions is accessing your inner wisdom. All those practices that we just talked about will actually quiet your mind so that you can know. Have you ever heard the phrase, be still and know? When we are still, that inner knowing can kind of come to the surface because a lot of times we're so busy with so many thoughts and activities and stuff there really isn't space for our inner wisdom to come to the surface. But the moment that you create some stillness, quiet yourself, now it starts to come. Another thing to look for when you're trying to integrate in this way is to align your choices. Ask yourself, does this choice I'm making feel expansive or constrictive? Am I expanding or contracting with this decision? And to be honest, a lot of times your body knows before your mind does. So feel in your body, how does this choice feel? Does this choice feel like it's making you have more freedom and more possibility, more opportunity? Or is this choice kind of miring you in a sense of fear and lack and competition? Ask yourself, ask your body, how do we feel about this? Okay? And then another thing I want you to do when it's time for making aligned decisions is trust the timeline. Know that the best strategic plans come from allowing yourself some space to kind of dream and envision and even to play and experiment first before jumping headlong into a commitment, right? So give yourself some room and some space to grow and to get ready for the next level that's coming in your business. Sometimes the decision is right, but the timing is kind of still maturing. That is okay. Be gentle with yourself. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, and the beauty of the vision that you have for the business that you're building. So I'll tell you all of this. This is the reason why I created the Aligned Life Experience for 2025. This is a retreat experience that we're doing in Jamaica. And if you haven't checked it out, the link will be in the description. The aligned life is an opportunity to step away from the daily grind, to be surrounded by beauty and nature, to be with like-minded mental health professionals, right? So you can actually start to hear yourself think, to access that spirit of creativity with a little bit of play and adventure, right? so that you can make business decisions from a place of clarity, confidence, and alignment. See, I know that the choices made in that space are the ones that are like accelerant for your business. I can think back I've been in business 20 years, and the times when I made choices from that type of place, the results were amazing and actually positioned me for greater growth. And the times when I made choices from competition or fear or lack, I only got more of it. Okay. And so if you're ready to start making some choices that allow you to honor both your business goals and your soul's calling, let's talk. I invite you to join us. Take a look at samarastone.com/aligned and learn a little bit more about how you can build a business and a life that you love, right? So here's what I want you to do right now in the comments. Tell me one way you know that you're making an aligned decision versus a rushed one. Like, what is it that lets you know? What signal do you get from your body or your spirit or your mind to let you know that you're making an aligned decision or just a rushed kind of remote decision? You know, your business deserves decisions that come from your highest wisdom, and not your deepest fears. So let's create that space together. All right, I am really loving an opportunity to talk to therapists about the soul side of business. So, this is going to be a theme that you're going to see coming up in our channel much more frequently, particularly throughout the month of February. We are going to talk about all kinds of relationships and relationship dynamics as it relates to being a therapist. So, stay tuned. Share this video with someone that you know can benefit from hearing what it has to say. And if you want to talk about how this can apply to you as an individual, you can always schedule a call with me. samarastone.com/connect. All right. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of your clients, and always take good care of business.